Lost connection, so I'm not sure if Sarah's going to be able to join me again. If she's still there, feel free to pop on for the last few minutes. But we've been talking about doubts in relationships, and we've got some great stuff going on here. So here she is again. We'll come back on for a couple minutes. We'll just summarize everything that we've been talking about in regards to doubts. Let's see here. Sarah! Oh my gosh. Okay, this is a disaster. Between the wind and the heat, my phone died because of the heat. So where were we at? Let's go back to it. If we have a few more minutes, see if we want to finish anything up, if we didn't lose everyone.
Oh, yeah, no worries. We were just talking about, I think the question that you most recently asked was like how to kind of suss out if something is a doubt because of more of a fear-based thing or if it's more of something that you want to explore. And I would say that there's not necessarily one right answer to that, but definitely to, oh, actually, wait, no, we were talking about how to tell your partner if you have relationship anxiety. That's where we were going with it.
Oh, yeah.
So the blog post that I wrote about this is called Telling Your Partner About Relationship Anxiety, and it comes with like a script for people if they have wanted to tell their partner but are not sure. But one of the first things I talk people through is like, what is the intention behind why you are telling them? You know, are you telling them to get the burden off of yourself and on to someone else, or are you telling them because you want to connect more deeply with them? And trying to understand more about relationship anxiety before you bring it to them. So I encourage people to read through my blog or my Instagram and better understand some of the things I talk about, and then to bring some of that information to the partner so that you're not just talking based on emotion, but you're talking based on some of the logic or the information that I have shared, because I think such a hard conversation to have. And someone who might not understand it might feel, to your point, triggered or hurt by it, which is a completely normal response. But if they better understand that, like, there's thousands of other people that agree with me, like, if you just look at this page or this blog, like, here are some of the things that will help you better understand it. I think that is going to be a much more productive conversation than kind of blurting things out. And if you've already done that, it's, you can't go back, but trying to help your partner understand the process of it much better, I think, than just kind of saying certain things emotionally, like, I don't know if I love you the same, which is what I did to Nate back in the day. I think you're muted, Beth. I don't know if you can hear me.
There you go. How
There we
long?
go.
This is a tricky one because I know so many people wish you could give an answer on this one, but how long do you go when you have all these doubts? Like, is there like a checklist that we should go through? What's a quick answer on this one? You're feeling doubts. It's been a really long time. Where do you go? What do you do?
Well, I know I mentioned it earlier, but I would highly encourage people, if they haven't already heard me talk about it, I'm hosting a webinar next week called Is It Anxiety or Is It Incompatibility? So I'm going to give you like a whole framework to talk through that. But I wouldn't say it's about how long you've been feeling doubtful. I would say it's how much work have you done to understand the doubts. Because if you've been feeling doubtful for years, which I did, but I didn't do anything to understand it, then those years were just passing and nothing actually changed internally or in my relationship. But now, after spending multiple years trying to understand it, I no longer feel doubts. And when I do feel doubts, I know it has nothing to do with Nate, and it has things to do with the like internal like dialogue that I'm having with myself. And so it's taken me years to better understand this, but now that I do, I no longer feel the sense of, doubt or panic that I used to feel in my relationship. So I would say it's less about how much time you had the doubts and more about like, what have you been doing to try and understand them?
Yeah, that's such a great point. Yeah, because so often we just want a quick answer, like, "Oh, you've been feeling." Like, I do it a lot with infidelity. The women I work with, they've been cheated on. There's been affairs, and they're like, "How long is the recovery?" And it's so important to be like, "It depends what you've done. What tools have you accessed?" Yeah, Sarah, is there anything else you want to add to this topic? Any questions that maybe I've left out that you think would be really important for our audience to address or
Hmm.
address?
Well, there's always questions that could be left out, but if people want to learn more just about this, I have my highlights organized on my Instagram with some Q&As that I've done in the past. And so, in addition to all of obviously like the posts or the blog posts that I do have a Q&A highlight with a lot of frequently asked questions and my responses to those. So I highly encourage if you have other questions that weren't answered, go check that out in my highlights because I feel like there have been because this work is so common now with people having so many of the same questions, I've been able to address a lot of things, which is great because it means we're not alone and that other people are thinking the same as us. So, yeah, definitely recommend checking that out. And I have about 100 blog posts now about relationship anxiety. So my website is youloveandyoulearn.com, and that has a lot of the frequently asked questions just because I like to give a lot of nuance and context. And so just trying to answer questions off the cuff without giving ourselves like time to address them with more detail is always a disservice to people listening because they may only take like a small portion away.
Yeah, you know what's great though? We can give them a little snippet of here's some information, but there's so much research behind this, and there's so much data, and there's like psychology, neurology, neuroscience behind all this because it's so much more
Totally.
than just the doubt. It's everything that's below it, and we all have the
Absolutely.
power to change it, which is amazing. You can take your power and control back over your relationship, so you don't have to feel like you're in this flux or this roller coaster or this like rut or feeling like you have no clarity on what to do. So yeah, reach out to Sarah, reach out to myself. I work specifically with women who are struggling with their marriages, maybe on the verge of divorce. So I have a free little guide called freemarriageguide.com with 3 proven strategies. You can download the guide, and the link is on my bio. So,
Awesome.
Sarah, anything else you want to add before we let everyone go?
I don't think so. Just check out my page. I have some resources linked there. And in my highlights, I have all of my different options of anything from free resources all the way to like how to get support from me more directly. So just check that out. And thank you all so much for joining.
Yeah, awesome. And I feel like we were on for about 20 minutes before. We may have lost that one, so this will be the one I'll post. But yeah, reach out to us, and we'll talk soon.
Alrighty.
Thanks, Sarah.
Yeah. Bye.
Bye.